Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Sun is rising, feel the warmth on my face. There's a lot to do now, but there ain't no race.
Audio
I
Jungle.
sip my coffee, I'm feeling fine. No need to work yet, I'm gonna take my time. It's a brand new day, gotta take it on my way. Gotta take it on my way. It's a brand new day. Gotta take it on my way. Gotta take it on my way.
Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your Resource for Success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. My name is Kimberly McLemore, and I am your host. With us, we have Angel Riley, Premier Director of Paparazzi Accessories. Welcome, Angel.
Hey, Kimberly. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
Oh, you are so welcome, and it's such a pleasure to be able to take some time out of your really busy schedule, because I know and have heard and seen that on Facebook that you are moving out of the area.
I am relocating to Dallas, Texas at the end of this month, the end of April. So I'm truly looking forward to that and expanding my paparazzi accessories business down in the Lone Star State.
Wow, well, that is awesome. So, the one thing I want to talk about is that, can you tell the listeners just a little bit more about who you are? And we do know that since you're going to Dallas, you want to kind of backtrack a little bit and talk about how you got into the business as well.
Absolutely. So, as you said, my name is Angel Riley. I'm a Premier Director with Paparazzi Accessories, which is an affordable line of fashion jewelry. All of the items that I sell are fun, fabulous, and $5. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about paparazzi. Now, while many will disagree and say I do sell paparazzi full time, I actually do not sell paparazzi
Okay.
full time.
Okay. Wow.
You know, but it's always fun and it's always a party. So that's why that it just seems like I'm always doing it, because this is exactly where my heart is. So I do have a full-time job. I work for Lockheed Martin, which is the largest defense and aerospace corporation in this country. So they are actually the ones who are relocating me down to Texas.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So, wow. So you've got a lot of things going on both ends of the spectrum. And I think it's great that we're sitting up here just having this quick conversation about the fact that, you know, like you said, you're doing this full time on with your regular business. I mean, as far as working with Lockheed, and then here you have this, the paparazzi accessories as a part-time business, but at the same time, it looks like that you have a full effect of what's going on. And I think a lot of people have the mistake of thinking that, oh, you got to do everything full time as a business in order to be successful. That is not necessarily true. You have been the most exciting paparazzi accessory consultant I've ever seen. I've seen you. I have watched you on Facebook, and I'm just like, OMG. Okay, LA, you are awesome. It's just amazing to watch your enthusiasm. And I'm like, you know what? I need to buy a whole bunch of this jewelry. And the thing that amazed me was the cost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the one thing that kind of drew me to paparazzi. And just to give you a quick background as to why I became a paparazzi consultant is that I was just looking for an opportunity where I can produce $200 extra a month just in residual income, so I can start building up an emergency fund. So Paparazzi Accessories was an opportunity that was presented to me. And I said, okay, why not? You know, and as my sponsor nicely put it, hey, you come in, and if you don't like it, you'll walk away with getting 100% of your money back plus a little bit of a profit. And I was like, okay, why not? Well,
Wow.
Kimberly, let me tell you, I jumped in. with just that basic mindset, and now here I am over a year later. I have a team of 25 and growing.
Oh
I've been
my.
promoted. I know. It amazes me as well. you
Wow.
know, I have, profited. Gosh, within the first year, I profited about $20,000. I purchased a van that's specifically for my jewelry business. I've received numerous recognitions. So one of the recognitions I received is Crown Club 5, which was the first level of showing my leadership in the country. I'm sorry, in the company. And then my next recognition that I'm receiving is the Crown Club 10 to show the next level of my leadership. And then I'm also not only just with leading a team, I'm actually out selling a product and keeping so many people excited, and so many women and men excited about the product and looking good. Then I'm also getting a life of the party recognition, which means that since July 1st, 2016, I have sold a minimum of 2,500 pieces. So this is an absolutely wonderful
Wow.
business, and I love it.
That is amazing. I'm sitting up here like, really? I mean, it's just, and the thing that's so beautiful about it, I mean, we all know as women, we love jewelry. So to be able, I think we all have a kind of a passion about what specific jewelry that we like to wear because it makes us feel good and it makes you look good. But, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit about how I actually met you. I met you in a Zumba class, probably
Yes.
3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And I could remember then your enthusiasm about just being a Zumba instructor, and that same enthusiasm of diving in and just doing it has been the same attitude in what you're showing here in your current business. And I just think it's just, like I said, you're just so much full of charm, and I can hear the excitement in your voice now. It's like you ain't even selling me any jewelry, but boy, I'm about ready to go buy some right now.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And that's like the great thing, because a lot of people thought that I exchanged being a Zumba instructor for paparazzi. And that actually was not the case. I was going to do them both together, but I actually ended up getting bursitis in the hip shortly after I started my paparazzi business, and that just prevented me from doing Zumba. So once, I strengthened the muscle and was ready to get back to being an instructor, I couldn't find the time on my schedule to fit my classes in anymore because paparazzi had taken over. So one of these days I will get back to being the Zumba instructor, but we'll just see how paparazzi dictates that.
Well, exactly. At least you still have the love of both things, but I mean, you're definitely going with what is currently working for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that is
Absolutely.
awesome. But let me ask you, even though you've been doing this for about an hour, about an hour and a half, about a year and a half now,
It feels like an hour and a half.
obviously this interview is going really crazy right now. But the challenges, tell me some of the challenges you have faced, going through this process of doing the two different things, because you do have a regular current job, and then, like you said, you're doing this as a side business, but it's a business that has excelled tremendously. So talk a little bit about some of your challenges.
All right. Well, my number one challenge is time management. And I started out our conversation this evening stating that a lot of people think I do paparazzi full time. And that's because, when I go to an event, I have a nice setup. I normally have a minimum of 400 accessories with me. So it just looks like I have a store when I'm actually just operating out of my home. So with that in mind, I'm contacted all day long,
Right.
and I cannot, do and focus on my 9 to 5 as well as give the attention and the high quality of customer service to my customers for paparazzi with that. So the way that I resolve that is that I've actually set up a schedule. And I have business hours specifically for paparazzi.
Okay.
So that's going to be in the evening hours. And sometimes I'm up at like 5 a.m. just because, I'm just a perfectionist, just a tad bit. So,
No.
just a little, just a little. So I'll be up at 5 a.m. and I'll take care of some administrative things I need to for my business, like preparing shipments, so I can go to the post office at lunchtime. But that's been, my largest challenge is just the time management. But since I've implemented the business hours, and really, I have to stick to them. The customers are fine, but
Okay.
the problem is myself because, I want to always be available. I want to always respond. I want to be sure that I'm the first person to get the hottest and newest items that hit our website. But
Okay.
I can't. It's a conflict. But I've been doing a really good job and sticking to it lately.
Well, that's good. And one thing that I love about what you're talking about here is that I've been able to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So
Hmm.
understanding what that weakness was, you held back, took yourself and said, you know what, I got to do this the right way in order to ensure that I'm providing that customer service, the same customer service
Hmm.
quality all the time. And I think that's
Hmm.
very important when we're in business. A lot of times people miss out on that piece of good customer service, not just one time, but consistently. So,
Absolutely.
when you have that understanding, it makes it much easier to thrive in your business. So what I want
Hmm.
to ask you too, that being that you're an actual consultant for this organization, and of course you're at the director level, but what
Hmm.
type of training and what type of process did you go through? Because it's obvious that there's a team that
Hmm.
helped you get through this, and now that you're directing your own team,
Hmm.
on one end, like I said, what is it that they helped you with, and how do you help others grow within this business?
Absolutely. So that's a great question. And, we have, several leaders and what we call the elite leaders in paparazzi, which these are various consultants who have met, outrageous goals, as I say, but I'm actually now that I'm on the path to meeting those goals, they're really not that outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very successful. They have
Mm-hmm.
teams of like 3,000 plus consultants and wonderful, and they're considered elite. And they have been wonderful with just doing like one-on-one mentorship, doing the periodic trainings and stuff through our consultant Facebook groups. We also have a series of YouTube videos. But for myself, sometimes, it's difficult to always identify with other people just based on your background. So
Mm-hmm.
with just my career, I've come from a corporate environment and things are structured just a little more than, like some of the teachers, like they have the lesson plan and how they communicate with the students. It's not the same way
Mm-hmm.
that one could communicate with me as a corporate employee. So I actually sought out just I call it continuing education for myself on different things related to marketing,
Okay.
sales strategy, direct selling, etc. And I signed up actually for a couple of paid groups. So as I started to build my team,
Mm-hmm.
what I was learning from that continuing education that I was providing for myself, I started to teach my team the same thing because I want them to duplicate my success for themselves because we
Mm-hmm.
all have our own personal financial goals and it's working. So when
Right.
there's areas and I just did a training recently with my team and I say as a leader you cannot always have the answer because if you always have the answer, how can you lead? That means you're not learning. So
Absolutely.
you always have to put yourself in that situation and say, I may not be able to identify with the teaching style of this particular person, but here are three others that I can. But I'm not going to let this step to the side because there's something else that this person can teach me. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's what I try to encourage with my team. And as we're growing, is that we all offer something. We all bring something important to the table. So let's share. So on my team, our team motto is synergy plus collaboration equals success.
Wow.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And that's awesome because that is something that I talk about consistently about. Even with the reason why I had put this organization together is that there's so much out there for resources, and
Hmm.
you don't know it all, but there's
Hmm.
always that other person or some other whether that has the answer or has been through what you're going through, and sharing resources is so important. And I think a lot of times, and unfortunately I think I've seen it more in women than I have seen in men, where they're not always as flexible about wanting to share their resources because they're so
Right.
concerned about, oh well, you're going to make more money or you're going to steal my idea. There is no such thing as that because there's always somebody out here who's had that same idea. It just depends on how you determine that and how you put that out there.
Hmm.
How you show yourself that this is your way of doing it, and it's okay that there's
Hmm.
that competition because competition is good. But at the same time, it helps you strengthen what you need to know about the things that to understand being a business owner. So the way that you are handling your team, I think, is very important and it's valuable. And like you said, they're learning that you may not do it this way, but this different way may help you down your path of success. So I applaud you on that. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I guess the question I had that, what you're doing, like I said, you're helping other women, but if there was one other specific thing that you would share about coming into business, what would that be? What advice would that be for another woman?
To step outside of your comfort zone. It's scary. And, a lot of us don't like to go into unknown territory. I'm relocating states. I've only visited Texas twice in my life, and now I'm going to live there.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, talk about outside your comfort zone, huh?
Yeah, it's a huge change compared to being here. I used to be in San Antonio, so I know that, coming from there or here or other places, yeah, that's a complete difference. But change is good.
Yes, change is good, but you just have to step outside of that comfort zone and, just go out and take a risk, because sometimes that one thing, and I'll speak for myself, I'm not going to overgeneralize and say all women, but I like definites. I want to know, I plan things out, and I'm like, if I do X, Y, Z, I'm going to achieve this. But whenever I step outside that comfort zone, I just step out and I just do it. And then I achieve something that I never imagined. So just as we started this conversation this evening, when I said I joined Paparazzi because I only wanted $200 a month, and just stepping and taking that jump and going into this business, I went outside my comfort zone and look where I am now. So when you are, a young entrepreneur, I call young entrepreneurs those who are just new in their business and stepping out of that comfort zone and starting their business.
Right.
So if you're a young entrepreneur, take that risk. It's worth it.
Right.
Step outside of that comfort zone, take business cards and go to some type of networking event that you don't necessarily know if you have relevant space yet, but go and find out and learn and see where it's going to take you.
Exactly. And you're right. That's what people need to do. And like you said, that was your original idea was not about making a whole lot of money. But once you figured out and you stepped out of that comfort zone and you push yourself all the way through, and here's the end result of taking that challenge on, per se. So let's ask this question. How can the listeners get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So you can definitely get on to my website, and it's www.styleandpaparazzi.com. You also can give me a call or text message me at 301-744-7801, or email me at ALRILEY, that's AL Riley 77@outlook.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And do you have any last words for our listeners this evening?
Absolutely. I just say be brave, be bold, step outside of that comfort zone. Be sure that you're always learning and expanding and following your passions, because when you are not working, when you are having fun and you are enjoying what you're doing, that's when you're going to be the most successful. So I just encourage everyone to just be brave, be bold, and follow your passion.
Amen. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, again, it's been a pleasure. It has absolutely been a pleasure talking to you this evening. I'd like to thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Absolutely. And definitely everybody reach out to Angel. She is, like I said, the most bubbly individual I have ever met and has an awesome business. And look, ladies, we love jewelry, so hey, go for it. I would rather spend $5 sometimes than have to spend more, but knowing that I can have all these beautiful pieces that I can, accessorize with my clothing. So again, like I said, thank you. And to everybody else, good night to everyone. Like I said, I will be back here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. You can find me at the WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Audio Jungle.